Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my best to explain exactly why Thrasher in my opinion is god tier champion. And so first we're going to be taking a look at quick fight against Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. In this fight we're using like a full synergy team for Thrasher. Two of the main ones are Darkhawk and Guillotine. Guillotine gives him ability to bleed opponents, and Darkhawk basically reduces opponents' armor by 20% for each debuff, each unique debuff they have on them. So both of them combined like give quite a big damage boost for Thrasher. Not that he hits like a slouch without them, it's just that together with those two he has an awesome damage output. Anyways, as I have explained previously in my channel, your game plan is always going to be fairly simple. You need to shoot off 1 or 2 level 1s, get a couple of gadget debuffs on opponent, then land some heavy attacks, make sure they get taunt on them, and as soon as they do, you just kind of start building your Furies, and once you do have your Furies on, you're going to be hitting for insane amount of damage. And after that, it's just like a basic fight. You can choose whether to do your level 2s or mix in some level 3s, or just play with your level 1s. If the gadget debuffs do happen to fall off later in the fight, it's not end of the world. You still have your Furies and your damage output is going to be insane, as well as the fact that you can quickly rebuild those debuffs on anyways. But yeah, so as you can see here, with 48 hits in and Winter Soldier is already on 36%. We shoot off a nice level 2. Unfortunately, 2 of the hits didn't crit, but it doesn't matter. As we can see, that was like a massive heavy attack over there. We're at 59 hits. I'm just gonna block this level 2. And couple huge ass crits and 66, 67 hits, and Winter Soldier goes down. So that I do believe is a really fast kill. But now let's take a look at how well or bad Thrasher performs with no synergies at all whatsoever. So this is just his pure ability. So I have sped this fight up a bit, just because obviously it's going to be a bit longer. He can't bleed anymore. So we're going to have to rely on our gadget debuff. So here we launch in the Incinerate. That's a really weak Incinerate at first with no Furies, only ticking down for 40. So we refresh it, launch a taunt, so that means we can start building our Furies up. Unfortunately, I messed up there. I should have finished a combo with the light. And yeah, so as you can see, the numbers aren't going to be as great anymore. They're by no means like bad. The damage over time debuffs are ticking for like 100 and 234, I believe, combined. So that's nothing too impressive, but still a decent boost, considering they're going to be on like all the time. Heavy attacks still can crit for like 10k plus per hit, and so for this fight I'm choosing to go with my level 3s, just because that's kind of gonna give me longer gadget debuff duration and I can fight more aggressive without worrying about heavy attacks. But yeah, so as you can see, we're 56 hits in and he's still at 61%. So I do believe it's going to take us about 120 hits. So it is considerably longer. It's like 45% longer than it was with full synergies. So yes, Thrasher synergies do help his damage output a lot. On the bright side, it's only 2 of the main ones that really matter. It's Guillotine and Darkhawk ones. The rest of them aren't too important. And yeah, so those 3 make for an awesome questing team as well, by the way, just because you have like bleed poison immunity over there. Guillotine can regen nicely, so can Darkhawk if he's high sig level, and Thrasher is incinerate immune, so you cover like a lot of immunities over there. Thrasher obviously has true accuracy, so you can deal with the weight and auto blocks, and yeah, it's just a solid team all around. But yeah, so next I'm going to be showing how quickly Thrasher can deal with Labyrinth of Legends Star-Lord. I'm not going to be showing you guys the entire fight, just the second part of it. But yeah, anyway, so it took us 120 hits, so it is longer. It's not bad showing for somebody without suicides or any masteries any boosts or any synergies at all. But anyway, so here we can see that it took us 260 hits to get Star-Lord down to 30%. Okay, but at this point in the video I'm going to kind of slow down and start over at what Thrasher does. His level 1 basically has 3 different abilities depending how you finish your combo, or like when you use your level 1. So if you chain your level 1 to a medium hit, it's going to put an incinerate on opponent. If you chain your level 1 to a light attack, it's going to put disorient debuff on opponent. Disorient debuff reduces their ability accuracy by 50% and reduces their block proficiency. And if you do just shoot a level 1, like with no combo at all, then places a shock on opponents that deals energy damage over time. So though there are 3 gadget debuffs, you can refresh all of those debuffs just by landing a heavy attack or knocking down opponent with any of your special attacks. So essentially you can keep them on opponent at all times. And that is basically the main kind of way Night Thrasher works. Then his signature ability lets you place a town debuff on opponent that increases their chance of activating a special attack and reduces their attack. And then if you hit opponent with skateboard attack, you gain a permanent fury for each landed hit while taunt is active, and you can gain max up to 10 of those. So that's basically how Night Thrasher works. And your basic game plan is always to make sure you get your activate your town debuff as early as possible and get to 10 furies, and rest of the stuff will work out then. 2 other things that are most important here are the fact that all Night Thrasher's skateboard attacks are considered to have true strike. That means they can't be evaded or auto blocked. He strikes with skateboard on every single hit of his heavy attack and medium, and all of his special attacks basically start with the skateboard attack, so they can't be evaded either. And one of other important abilities for Night Thrasher is that every time he uses parry or dexterity mastery while he's under 1 bar of power, he gains 5% of his max power. So that only works while he's under 1 bar of power, but that really helps you kind of like to get to your level 1s extremely quickly and place the gadget debuffs and get all the things started. That's like really helpful. But yeah, anyway, so here I'm just having a quick fight in, I think that's Act 6-1-5 with the Crossbones as boss. And there is this one annoying Nightcrawler who many people have been complaining about, especially recently, since you can't switch his stances. And so here I'm just having like a quick fight with Night Thrasher to show that Night Thrasher has absolutely no issues dealing with this guy. Although because of the global node, you can't really spam your special attacks as easily. However, still the fact that all of his skateboard attacks can be evaded, and the fact that Night Thrasher can do some really serious damage make this fight fairly easy. It's definitely an easy fight, and that is one of the main things I wanted to accent in this video, that Night Thrasher is pretty much like the only champion in game that has instant access from the first hit of the fight to true strike ability, true accuracy ability. So that means as soon as the fight starts, you can play him in such a way that he can't possibly be evaded or auto-blocked. I am honestly not aware of any other champion who is able to do that without any synergies, without any build-up, without any kind of like different requirements. And here I'm going to be having another fight in Act 5, and this is going to be like Masochism Miles Morales, just to show that even if opponents have stuff like Masochism, it isn't really a problem for Night Thrasher, just because A, he's bulky, he can have some shots and block, and B, you can always trigger Masochism at the times when needed, and also his debuffs can never get shrugged off by Masochism. I'm not exactly sure why. That is also kind of like one of those things I can't really explain, but the same as in Variant 2.0. Even though he's only medium champion and his special attacks technically should be able to be glanced, they never do get glanced. It's one of those things kind of like, while Ant-Man never glances blades level 1 kind of thing. So I don't think too many people are aware of that, so I just wanted to show it, and it's quite interesting. So I do make a mistake over here, just because I kind of got greedy and I chained my level 1 at the wrong time, and I didn't use a medium attack. But anyways, we got that Miles down quite effectively. Despite his evade, despite all of his charges, we didn't have too much problems with him. It was just meant to show that you can play Night Thrasher well even if the conditions aren't like ideal, because many people think that you need to do a lot and an opponent can't have any masochisms, buffets and stuff like that in order for you to be able to do your full damage like potential, which isn't the case. Also, obviously, Thresher synergizes extremely well with Despair Mastery, and while we have all these debuffs on opponent, the masochism heal is severely diminished. But yeah, so we're gonna have another fight here against Gladiator Hulk. We just kind of need to keep careful of his smash icon. Apart from that, again, there isn't too much to the fight. We just need to make sure we land some of our gadget debuffs on him, make sure we get Taunt on, and as soon as that has happened, we're gonna have easy time. So I do believe that I place down here, we're gonna start building our Furies, and then the fight is gonna finish really quickly. And that is the thing with Thrasher, you're not gonna get insane damage output from him immediately. It's normally gonna take you in between 20 to 30 hits to kind of like max out your damage output, to get your 10 Furies up, to get your debuffs in place and stuff like that. However, 20 to 30 hits, considering that several of those are going to be your special attacks and you get to them like really quickly, isn't really large amount of hits. And I do think that build up with Thrasher is actually quite easy, and the best bit is that he reaches his maximum damage potential already like within those 30 hits, 40 hits. That means he goes from medium to low damage output to insane damage output really quickly. I am looking at it more or less the same way as you would have to build poise charges with Stark Spider-Man. Just I prefer this method because it actually lets me fight the opponent. Here is a fight against can't touch this node and 6.1, so no retreat and can't touch this. So opponent has 50% chance to evade all our incoming basic attacks. But as we can see here, he hasn't managed to do a single evade, just because it is actually extremely easy to play around all of that with Thrasher. Because yeah, you might need to get used to kind of like forgetting about your light attacks at first. But once you do get used to it, the playstyle isn't like too difficult either. And the fact that you have this insane damage output and you can bypass evade without any special build-up, you don't need any special synergies, nothing for it. It's, to me, just crazy. It's quite unique champion. He isn't a champion you will want to bring in like for any fight or quick questing, but he's going to be answer to many problem fights already in contest and for many problem fights to come. So yeah, I showed a few fights from Act 6, proving that he's useful against many of the global nodes and many of the like individual nodes. And now we're going to be taking a look at Random Path in Variant 2. So he's a medium level champion, so he basically can only heavy attack. Everything else will get glanced, except for his level 1s as well. For some reason, those do not get glanced. So obviously we just need to build in a couple of debuffs. As soon as we have some debuffs on opponent, we're gonna carry on launching our heavy attacks. We're gonna get our taunts on, and so we have taunt on here already, and that's pretty much it. Our damage output is just gonna go up and up and up now, and those heavy attacks are gonna deal more and more damage. So Thrasher is actually another extremely viable option for second variant. I do make a mistake there. I shouldn't have run in for that medium attack, but yeah, it is what it is. But here you can see like the amount of damage Thrasher does with his heavy attacks is just crazy if you think about it. Because yeah, I think this is about it. We're gonna land another heavy attack, and that's gonna be fight over. And if you do manage to get level 3, obviously that can't get glanced either, and then you're gonna have severely extended debuff duration. I think that's one thing that I did forget to mention in this video, is that your level 3 places a passive debuff on opponent that basically refreshes all your gadget debuffs and also increases all of your debuff duration by 75%. And that increased duration isn't affected by stuff like limber and things like that, so you do end up with having infinite parry even against limber node, and all your bleed durations are increased, so your parry stun durations increased, and obviously all your gadget debuffs and stuff also get increased. But yeah, so here is going to be a fight in the same variant against Voodoo. Voodoo is on aggression regeneration node, and so here we're just going to show that Night Thrasher also has no problems staying aggressive and basically dealing with these opponents, especially because for most part our opponents constantly are going to have taunt on them. Means we're not going to have too much trouble baiting out their special attacks. They're going to be launching them more frequently and more easily than they would against normal opponents. And even if they do manage to get a couple stacks of aggression regen on, we still have all the debuffs on them that basically just diminish the regeneration severely. That combined with our damage output, yeah, Night Thrasher doesn't really have any problems dealing with this guy on aggression regen node or whatever it might be. And as soon as this fight is going to be over, we'll have like an interesting comparison video. And yeah, so I think, oh, so I do get tagged here and I accidentally level 1, but it is not a big deal. I'm just gonna shoot level 1 and that's gonna finish him off anyways. But yeah, so let's take a look at 4-star rank 2. So that's only 4-star rank 2 Night Thrasher against Act 5 Miles Morales. I do believe this is Act 5, it's 5.45, the Mephisto boss. So yeah, it's Act 5, Chapter 4 and 5th quest. So we're going to take a look at how long does it take for 3k Night Thrasher to take down 18k Miles Morales in Act 5. And yeah, keep in mind it's only a rank 2 4-star and he's going to be doing some serious numbers compared. So yeah, basically we launched our level 1, now we launched our second level 1. We got a couple of gadget debuffs on, that's all we need to basically land the taunt on opponent. So yeah, here we do refresh the gadget debuffs, land taunt on opponent. We're gonna use our level 1 again just to place another debuff on opponent, but I messed up there a bit, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, so here we're finally gonna get the third debuff. We have 7 Furies on, need to get a few more. So yeah, again, one more heavy attack and we on 8 Furies, we're 40 hits in, 43 hits in, and that Miles Morales is just melting away. Another heavy attack, and here's gonna be our level 2, and the fight is over. So it took us 50 hits with a rank 2 4-star Night Thrasher to take down this Miles Morales in Act 5. And now let's compare it to a rank 5, so a maxed out 4-star Killmonger. So as you can see, the PI difference there is huge. So you can notice the first difficult thing, what we have to do is we basically need to land an intercept against Miles, which we didn't have to do with Night Thrasher. So that's already kind of like, at least in my book, definitely point in Night Thrasher's favor. But okay, so we have our True Strike active, and we're kind of like starting to deal our damage here. I do have Killmonger jazzed up with all sorts of synergies as well, basically all the better ones that he had available to increase his damage output to make it fair, just like I did with Night Thrasher. And as we can see here, with 38 hits in, 40 hits in, and that Miles Morales is still alive. So that should kind of show exactly how strong Night Thrasher can hit and does hit in kind of like medium to longer level fights. If we do give him some time to ramp out, he's just about ready to outdamage pretty much everybody. But anyways, I do hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you guys take a second look at Night Thrasher. And if you did, then please do feel free to leave a like, share and subscribe and come back for some more interesting content. See you guys.